Hi there guys, hope you're all doing well. This is just a wee follow-up video to the first one, except in this one we're going to be talking about camera lenses and some of their uses and some of the different things that you can do with them. So again, just a wee quick recap. This is your camera body. Your lenses should be going in this bit here, right? Obviously, like I said, each lens will come with a different point of reference on it, with this white square or this red dot. To do that, you line up whatever is on the lens with that, insert it, click it, turn it. But we'll do that just at the end. I'll give you a wee quick recap. So, we start off with the basic lens for the camera, right? This is the one that I think was in the first video. This is just the 18 to 55mm standard camera lens, right? This should be coming with all your kind of starter sets, any cameras that you kind of buy. This is usually your first lens, right? So these lenses give you a nice kind of decent zoom, not a mega zoom lens by any means. This is pretty much as run as the mill as it's gonna get. These lenses are really good for getting a nice kind of depth of field. They're really good for focusing. Anything that you can kind of learn and do with a camera, you can learn it purely from this lens. So the 18 to 55mm refers to the zoom and the lens itself. And that gives you the kind of general size of the footage, size of the kind of screen that you're going to be filming on. These lenses, Canon lenses make really good ones for this kind of stuff. If you shoot that 18 to 55, it's kind of like, if you're kind of back here, you can gauge, so you're 18, and it goes all the way up that way by turning it, right? This kind of gives you your gauge. Now, these lenses are kind of good at doing everything, but they're not, I wouldn't say they're specialised for specifics. They're kind of like your jack of all trades kind of thing. You won't get along, like if you need to do like a really tight close-up from a distance, you won't get the long zoom. The depth of field and maybe unfocused backgrounds and stuff aren't as good as maybe a 50mm, but we'll get to that kind of stuff. But these are basically the bog standard. Filming wise, very good. They're very versatile. You can do a lot with a 55mm, with a 18 to 55mm lens, especially with these ones, because obviously you get your wee kind of image stabilizers on the side and your auto and manual focus that it should all be. So essentially, I'll just give this a wee clip in, kind of show you what it looks like on the camera. There you go. So we've all kind of seen this, all kind of seen the way that that works. Again, if you were to go into, I'll just do this for the fun of it, so you can see, let's see, so you can see me there. That's a full zoom. If you look at how close I'm holding the camera to me, from there to there, so you get a nice kind of tighter close up, and then that. There you go. So this is basically just the standard. This is your standard lens. Nothing overly special, nothing bad either. This is just basically the run of the mill, right? I'll turn that off and get into the more kind of interesting ones that are very good. Right, this is my personal favourite lens. This is a 50mm, 50 prime, people call this, right? Unlike the 18 to 55, you can't zoom. It's set at one specific, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So this lens is obviously a lot more compact, so you can't zoom. There is no zoom, there's only a focus on this, right? Now, these lenses are extraordinarily good for filming interview kind of style things, really good at close-ups. They give you probably the best depth of field in terms of accessible camera lenses for a fair price. The 50mm probably gives you the best depth of field. By that I mean, when the lens is in focus, it will focus on whatever's in the foreground, so whatever's closest to you. So for instance, me being here, you would see me, the rest of the background would kind of all be blurred out. We've all seen it in films, it's really prevalent. So when you get kind of thriller kind of films and stuff like that, they do the zoom in on the character and everything's kind of blurred and fuzzy, that's what depth of field is. These lenses are really good at doing that. They also give you that kind of nice framed off kind of close angle. You get that kind of good sense of format with a 50mm. There isn't really much. The lens versatility is an interesting one with this because it's a very versatile lens. It's just maybe doesn't appeal that way because you don't get that zoom option with it. You need to use it wisely with the restrictions that the lens can do. But even though the lens is restricted, it's still more versatile than what it may first appear once you get used to it. If you were shooting an interview, if you were shooting like a single character kind of drama, a 50mm is your best bet. They're really good at that kind of thing. And like I said, for the price of them and the way that you can pick them, where you can pick them up it's a useful thing to have in any camera bag. Again, photography as well, these lenses, brilliant for portrait photography of people, really good for that. You get lovely kind of shots off the back of them. What I will say is as well, your 18 to 55, these lenses are good at doing everything, but they are the standard, so you're maybe not going to get the best quality. So you could set this to do what this lens does. This lens is going to do it 10 times better than what this does. But obviously this, you get your zoom option and you get your kind of wee bit of leeway and wee bit of kind of, this lens will let you feel out the camera. This is for when you start to kind of hone your craft a bit. These are the ones to go for. So following on with that, we'll go for the 24mm, right? My personal favourite lens to film with is a 24mm. Sometimes called a pancake lens, right? That's purely because when you put it onto the camera, it appears like that, right? That's your lens. That's here. Now, notice this, right? This just a wee bit here is your kind of focal point for this lens, right? Now, when I turn this on, again, there is no zoom option, right? But you get a bit of a wider frame with this, right? Now, these are lenses that you need to be clever with when you're using them, right? A 24mm will give you some of the nicest exposure you can get. If you set your apertures and all that properly, you'll get some really nice photographs. You'll get some really nice footage out the back of a 24mm lens. These are just also, guys, these are just kind of probably the kind of most common ones that you'll come across for people that are just kind of maybe starting to get into cinematography and get into kind of photography and stuff. These are the kind of lenses you'll come across avidly anyway. But yeah, so the 24mm will give you some really nice exposure and aperture, and it'll really, if you can use it to, if you can work it to what you want to achieve, you'll kind of soon come to realise that there's, even though again like the 50 you can't zoom with this, it's just set to where this camera is, so you will need to move the tripod if you want to get closer or further away, but then it forces you to think about how you're going to frame things and how you want to frame things. Each of these lenses has a purpose, you know. Although it may appear at the eye that they can all do the same thing, you're guaranteed that if you really look at the footage between a 50mm and an 18 to 55, you'll soon notice a difference. Personally, for me, I prefer the 50mm, but I also prefer a 24mm over a 50mm. But again, this is important, but not all lenses are made to do everything. And you will get to the point where when you're on shoots, you'll be switching through a lot of different lenses, but the consistency is the big thing here. Each lens will look different. You will need to make sure that you set it, again, you match it to where it needs to be matched to. That is one of the big things that I will say about them. The 24mm I filmed for one of our projects we done, Gree Farm. It was a documentary shot on a farm filming machinery and all that. We exclusively used a 24mm and a 50mm to do the full thing, and it gave some really interesting shots and really interesting footage, especially getting right down onto the machinery and getting a wee focus in like that. It really pushes that kind of blurred focus out of the way. And it really hones in that kind of interesting kind of shot dynamic of using tighter lenses to get those kind of pinpointed kind of shots, and being able to get right in close and get that nice focus and still have the kind of open up of the frame in the background and stuff. These lenses are brilliant for that kind of stuff. And then we'll just round out with the big one. So this is your zoom lens, right? That's your zoom lens. Again, doing long distance stuff, shooting buildings, tracking shots from outside of buildings, trying to focus on characters and windows and stuff. These are what you want. You're not going to be able to achieve that with a 24. You'll need a zoom lens. Now, the one thing that I've always found with these, and this is potentially just a personal thing, is they don't, unless it's a macro, which this one isn't, which macro means that they'll probably kind of, you'll see them, they're big long lenses like this. They're built, if you can imagine like a pinhole on a sheet of paper. You get right in close with a macro. So if you were to take if you had like a leaf and the water was dropping off the leaf, you could get right in close with a macro lens and you would get that drop of water in perfect focus, and the rest of it would be blurry. And that's what they're really good at. A zoom lens is kind of opposite, so they're maybe not the best at doing the close-up, but what they are the best at doing is getting that distance, creating that kind of sense of distance. There is a lot of tricks you can do with these as well. I have used these to film things. If you can get that zoom right in to different kind of settings, you can maybe mimic the kind of usage of the 24 or the 50, but yeah, distance kind of lengthwise, guys, these are the kind of ones that you're going to be wanting to really have a look at. I don't really know if I'll be able to kind of show you the scope of it from here, which is kind of a nightmare, but I'll show you what it looks like on the camera. So obviously these are big hefty lenses, so again, you're not going to get the close-up that you want. So as you see, So this is the closest this lens will go to me, right? And this is me at full extension, so you can't even really get my face in focus for this, I don't think. Yeah, see, it won't focus. That's one thing that you do need to keep an eye out as well, guys. The camera won't focus on things if they are too close, which is exactly why a 25 and a 50mm is great. But yeah, zoom lens, you'll cover a brilliant distance. You'll be able to get some really cool kind of lens shots, tracking shots of cars and stuff like that. I've always kind of done with these if you see them in films. So yeah, that was just a kind of wee basic quick rundown of each of the lenses and kind of what they'll do and what they won't do. For the next kind of couple of videos, I'm just going to go into looking at the lenses individually, and we'll get them sent over as well, and you can have an in-depth look at what each lens can physically do. And by that, what I mean is we'll take them out and we'll do some actual shooting with them. I can show you probably better than what I can explain it to you actually, if I can show you what each lens will actually achieve when it comes to shooting. But yep, thanks so much, I appreciate it. Cheers folks.